David Lenza. Okay. Does anyone want to make a motion to go ahead and excuse him from the meeting today?
I make a motion to excuse.
All right, all in your, go ahead and vote. So if you're voting to approve them being excused, go ahead and say aye. Anyone that is not approving for him to be excused? Okay. All right, Laura Gales, I know she was online. Krista Morris?
Here.
Thank you. And Liz Abbott, is she online? Okay, Emily, I'm sorry. Does anyone want to make a motion to go ahead and excuse Liz Abbott from today's meeting?
I make a motion to excuse Liz Abbott from today.
All right. Okay, thank you. We'll go ahead and vote. Anyone, everybody in favor of excusing her from this meeting? Aye. Anyone that does not want to excuse her? Okay. Emily Wells? Thank you. Isabella Fry? Thank you. All right. So, not yet. David is excused. And I'll update that if they want later. All right. Thank you.
Mrs. Lusk, may I make a statement before we get
Actually,
started?
No, not right now. We're going to try and stick to our agenda. Thank you, though. All right. So this is our agenda that we shared out, and we're going to go ahead and get started by choosing our SAC chair for the year. Are there any nominees for SAC chair?
Can I nominate myself?
Sure. All right. Do we have anyone that wants to?
Point of order, I don't think a community member can be SAC chair, or am I wrong?
We don't have that in our bylaws, so anyone that's voted in by our SAC committee will be,
Okay.
yeah. Any other people want to run? All right, let's go ahead and vote for Krista Morris serving as SAC chair. If you want to vote for her to be your SAC chair, go ahead and raise your hand. All right. Mark that down on the, are you taking mine? Sorry. Hold them up for just 1 second so Mrs. Gergel can get them. And online, it looks like Miss Gales has her hand up too. All right. And she's making sure that it's our voting members. Okay, one more time. Thank you. If you're voting for Krista Morris to be SAC chair, thank you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 voting members. Thank you. And you, I'm sorry. That's okay. Miss 8. All right, and is there anyone opposing Krista Morris as being SAC chair? Okay. Congratulations, Krista Morris, being our SAC chair. And actually, I will go ahead now as our official SAC chair. Would you like to come up and you can kind of tag in for me? We need to continue. We need to get a vice chair, a secretary, and a DAC representative.
I think I remember. Okay, so next, we chose the SAC chair. So we need a vice chair and a secretary?
Yes.
Okay. Does anybody want to nominate anybody to be the vice chair?
Can you clarify, do they need to be voting members?
Yes. The voting member that would be nominated as the vice chair. Yeah. I think that's part of the SSF bylaws. Yeah, but that's not actually SAC bylaws. And Dorothy, I think I misspoke. It doesn't have to be somebody that's in this room. If the team, if the voting members elect the vice chair, I believe that doesn't.
I couldn't hear you say that.
The voting members have to vote for the vice chair, but if there's somebody that's, yeah. And staff can do it too, if Ms. Wells and Ms. Bryan wanted to do it, or any of the moms.
Do you have
Anyone
a
online?
nominee for vice chair?
Can you just give us 2 minutes?
Sure, absolutely. Take your time.
The bylaws, this is
Do you want us to go to the secretary if the SAC chair is unable to come and lead the meeting, they assist. They're kind of like the backup person.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
So if, are these officers?
Yes, they could be clear. They could be classified as that.
So SSF
They-
board members cannot serve as officers on SAC.
And the DAC does not have to be. So the DAC person could be, because that doesn't necessarily have to be. It's more or less somebody that is going to represent for the school at the district meetings.
I think it's great to have new, younger. I'll be secretary.
Okay, that sounds
Okay.
great. All in favor of Miss Wells being secretary? Thank you. Anybody opposed Miss Wells being secretary? Anybody does not want Miss Wells? Okay.
I was so excited, I was my hand up.
Okay. Okay, so, I'm sorry, Dorothy, can you clarify that, can an SSF member be,
They cannot be officers of SAC.
Okay.
So an officer, if a chair, vice chair, secretary is considered an officer position, then they cannot serve on them. But they can serve on that.
okay, so are we required to have a vice chair?
We can also, we have a few members that aren't here. I have no problem waiting until next week to vote for that person, so you,
I'm gonna nominate Mark.
okay, even better. All in favor of Mark as the vice chair?
Yeah, Mark.
Merci beaucoup, monsieur.
Thank you. Anybody opposed Mark being our vice chair? All right, thank you so much for being called and told.
Okay, so the next is a DAC representative. Do we have any nominees for DAC?
I mean, I'll do it again. I did it last year as long as I can do it 2 years.
Yes, absolutely, and you did a great job, thank you.
Okay, all in favor?
I mean, as long as I told somebody else, I might as well. Always help myself.
Okay, and then we're gonna move right on to approve the school improvement plan.
And Dr. Bergamo will go ahead and kind of discuss this. It also is a living document, so if you would like to see things changed or added, we definitely can look at that and have those discussions. So, thank you, Dr. Bergamo.
So the school improvement plan, there were 5 committee members, myself, Ms. Lusk, Ms. Gergel, myself, Barb Stornato, who's the math teacher, and Alex Suarez, who's right over there, our intervention specialist. We looked at data from 2023-24 and 24-25, and as you can see in the slide, our 10% absences were up slightly in 24-25. 17% of students had more than 10% absences. Level 1 on state ELA assessment, we dropped by a percentage point. Level 1 on math assessments, same thing, we dropped about 4 students, 1%. And students with 2 or more indicators, and I'll explain that in just a second, we had 8 in 24-25 and 12 in 23-24. And the indicators are absent 10% or more days, 1 or more suspensions, course failure in English language arts, course failure in math, level 1 on statewide ELA assessment, level 1 on statewide math assessment, and of those students, only 8 had 2 or more of those indicators. And again, that's dropped by 50% since 2023-24. I will caution you with these numbers. The numbers are fairly small because we're a small school, so a couple of students, one way or the other, will alter the data quite a bit. Percentile achievement in ELA, English language arts, this is students that scored 3 or higher on their PM3s in 2025, we had 88%. In 2024, 91%. Again, one or two students either way, but we've held pretty steady with that number. We're nearly double the district average, which was 49%, and the state average is right in between at 61%. Learning gains in ELA, we had higher gains than both the district and the state at 75%. Lowest 25%, these are our, what we call our L25s. They're the lowest 25% of the students. Our L25s were, it decreased. So we had, our L25s had a lower percentage in 25 than in 24. You can see it's dropped from 88% down to 64%. Math achievement, so we had ELA math at 89% level 3 or higher in 2025. 2024, it was a little bit higher at 91%. Again, district averages are right around 50%, and the state is closer, is at approximately 60%. So again, we're above the district and state averages. Learning math gains, we had fewer gains in math than in 2024. Again, some of this we can attribute to being displaced with Helene and Milton, and that's that would explain some of that drop. Math lowest 25%. We had less gains for 2025 than we had in 2024, and this is a point of focus for us for the upcoming year. Science, 5th and 8th grade, 2025 and 24, we had the same 88% proficiency at both those, the combined grade levels. And I think 8th was 89% and 5th was 87%, so I didn't break them out. They were basically the same numbers. District average was below 50%, and the state average was slightly above 50%. So again, we're well above state and district averages. Social studies, 7th grade civics, these are typically close to 100%. We had one student that is not proficient this year, which is again level 3, 4, or 5 on the state test. 24 we had 100%. So this is, usually it's only one or two students that are not proficient on this test. Middle school acceleration. We had a high percentage of students in accelerated classes. You can see it was 96% in 24 and 93% in 25. And here's the breakdown by grade level of state assessment, level 3 or higher on ELA. Again, you see there's one anomalous number. I'm not sure about the 5th grade number. Our school average is 43% and the district was 8. I think those numbers are wrong, frankly. I don't know where they got those, but the other ones are all, you can see the numbers for middle school are between 78 and 100% proficient, and even in the grades 3 and 4, they're at the 75% number. Again, about 50% better than the state average across the board, and even more so at 5th grade. Math, again, we're in the a high of 100% at 8th grade versus a district average of 60% proficient, to a low of 4th grade, which was 80%, which is still really good, or 78%, I'm sorry. 6th grade was 78% proficient math, and we're hoping to raise those numbers this year. Science, again, like I said before, you can see they're right at about 88% versus the district average, which is half that. And civics, 96 versus 64%. Algebra, again, almost 100% proficiency with the algebra exam, and these kids are taking algebra as an advanced course. It's a 9th grade math elective, and they're taking it as 8th graders. And the geometry, which is a 10th grade elective, so a lot of these kids were taking algebra and geometry together. They had 100% proficiency last year, which is really phenomenal. In view of Mr. Arnado was out part of the year, I had pinch hit teaching the geometry class, so kids really stepped up. It was very gratifying. So our biggest improvements, we maintained our ELA gains at 75%. So this was one of our focuses. Science achievement was at 88%. And the middle school acceleration, that's accelerated classes, went from 50% to 93% in math. So most of the kids were taking accelerated classes, and that increased dramatically from 24-25 from 23-24. So our lowest performance, we're the lowest 25 percentile in reading and math. So students need focused, targeted interventions, and that's one of our focal points for this year. This has become more difficult due to open enrollment, regardless of school zone. So we're seeing students that are less prepared for the academics, but also because of the bus rides, the kids aren't getting here early enough for interventions before school. So again, the high academic priorities are to increase ELA learning gains for the L25 or lowest 25 from 64% to 75%. So we want to raise the gains, the percent of students with gains, and also increase math learning gains from the same 64% up to 75%. Both on PM3, which is in May. Highest priority for behavior, we want to continue PBIS, which is positive behavior interventions. Referrals have decreased significantly from 23-24 when we had 21 to 11 in 24-25, and a lot of that we attribute to the implementation of PBIS. We want to further decrease referrals again by another 50% to from 11 to 7 in the coming year, and by doing that, we want to increase the incentives for middle school students to do the right thing behavior-wise. So just 3 final thoughts. Leadership team meets weekly. There are about 8 members. We analyze progress monitoring data so we can attack deficiencies early on and create fixes for any problems that we see. The intervention specialist, Allie, will review L25 students with teachers to suggest and monitor interventions in the coming year. And before school tutoring will continue to be made available for ELA and math students. And that holds true for all other subject areas too. We're not singling out ELA and math, but those are 2 focal areas for tutoring. And the last thing is the PBIS system, by virtue of its design, is to reward positive behavior. And what we want to do is increase student engagement through positive behavioral interventions and decrease the need for punitive discipline procedures, which we all know really don't work as effectively as positive interventions. Anybody have any questions at all? I know a lot of data. I had 23 slides. It was a lot of slides. We didn't put a lot on each slide. No yeah.
What percentage of 8th graders are taking both of the advanced maths now? We can get that for you.
it's at least 80%. It's high. A lot of them really have bought into the taking of the advanced math to get rid of a lot of the math requirements before they go to high school and have to they can take a lot more electives.
And what is the advanced math? Like, is it?
Algebra is 1 grade level advanced, geometry is 2 grade levels. And they only need algebra to graduate. But a lot of these students are taking math in addition to stuff they need for graduation, which is gratifying.
You had mentioned 10% absences. What does that translate into days, and does that include both excused and unexcused?
It's 18 days.
18 days?
18 days is 10% of the students.
And it includes both
It does.
excused and unexcused?
And the thing is, again, that's a little bit skewed because of the weather events last year.
Right.
We understand that, but there is a high correlation between absences and failure to thrive in school environment. Yes.
The priorities that you have a few slides back.
Sure.
If we know, or if we can think back to last year's priorities, stuff you gave about academic, and what they might have been.
I do not have those off the top of my head. Do you remember what they were? Jill or Jen? The priorities for last year?
We can report on that minutes.
We can get that for you, definitely. All right, so I will scoot back and get you back to Chris. So approval of the plan, so it's gonna get approved. So we have to vote on approving our school improvement plan.
Okay. All in favor of improving the plan? Raise your hand. So that's a majority. Anybody object? Okay, so the plan is approved. Those are impressive numbers.
Yeah, they're good numbers. It's fun to report those kind of numbers.
Yes. You know, you were saying about the math, just, my daughter's a freshman in high school, she's in math with all juniors, she's ahead, she's so far ahead. It's
Absolutely.
amazing. Okay, so, SSF budget is going to read that.
Do we have the tutorial on the slide?
I don't think it was on the slide, but it is on our school website for everyone to see. And I believe it was also shared out via school messenger by Ms. Marks. Do you want to show that on the school website?
I have a copy, if that helps. There you go.
Thank you.
I was gonna just go to the website.
Yeah.
I don't know where the sign-in sheet is, but we'll have it on.
Oh,
Okay,
Oh,
you can keep it.
Yeah,
I'll do
via
that.
Teams. Just put via Teams on.
We don't have it up here.
Hey guys. There we go. All right, thank you for your patience, everyone.
thank you.
Welcome. Okay.
Are you just talking?
I was just talking.
Okay.
You can turn it off. It should work if you just hold down the button.
I'll just speak loudly. I'm Michelle Walker Spinks. I'm the treasurer for the Sanibel School Fund. In order to take donations and pay our bills, we need approval from the SAC committee. So thus we are here to plead our case with you. Right now, we have about 400,000 in assets, which we have in two separate reserve systems and in a major budget cash flow system, which we use to do good works each year. We are projecting to gain a few dollars through grants. We throw a golf and gala event each year, and we're going to introduce a new pickleball tournament this year where we expect to earn a little money. We will probably get a little in community support donations, and we do have some investment money at Sandcap Trust, which we do get a little income from. Our expenses, there's quite a few of them. Do I need to read them line by line for anyone, or just give you a second to take a look? Does anyone have any questions or comments about anything?
Just explain why we did this Spanish program, like where the money is.
Okay, so the Spanish Reserve, we have $60,000, which was donated before I was at the school, so quite a number of years ago at the beginning of the Sanibel School Fund. It was donated by community members that were focused on having a Spanish program. So Sanibel School Fund, in being fiscally responsible, has continued to hold that money in reserve to save it and protect it for a Spanish program, should that be reinstated at the Sanibel School. It is likely or possible that that might happen this year, so we are providing for a Spanish program line item of $10,000, which is coming out of that Spanish Reserve. If that doesn't happen, that $10,000 will pop back into the Spanish Reserve. It won't be used for other purposes. It will just stay where it's at if we don't spend it on a Spanish program here this year. Any other questions?
Did the salary requirements change based on the staffing change?
It goes by the exact investments in the teacher salary. So however much it costs for that specific teacher to be employed is the exact amount that we pay. So the current teacher does have fewer years of experience than the previous year's teacher. So there would be a little bit of a change, but at the same time there was also a cost of living raise. So that's also being incorporated into that.
Yes?
Is the home ec line item, does that go with the garden?
So we have an environmental line item and we have the home ec line item, and I believe the home ec teacher is going to be running part of the plant and outdoor environmental products. So that'll sort of cover both of those areas.
So that we can continue to sustain the garden and operations of the garden, that is a budget that will cover purchasing gloves, other minimal supplies, medication that she might need that way. So that specifically is for that purpose. And environmental, might be some things that we haven't quite planned yet, perhaps a curriculum, to purchase further environmental initiatives that we might want to implement, composting.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Okay. Run the voting for us. Thank you.
You might check. Oh wait, I did actually, can you pull that back up? There's one more thing I just saw. For science, is it just for middle school where that money's going, since it says Minsky?
That is true. So preliminarily, we focused on STEAM, and then we also covered financially STEAM-related
favor to approve the Sanibel School Fund 2025-2026 budget? Raise your hand, please.
Thank you.
Okay. So the board is not voting.
Yeah, so we're abstaining.
Okay, so we are a majority. You want them to raise? Can you all raise your hands again? So,
He doesn't have to abstain, it's okay.
And it was two online. And two. Thank you.
okay, so the budget is approved. Nice job, ladies and board. So I think that's everything. So the meeting is adjourned at 3:03.